saw, he spoke. And when he spoke, it was because God showed it to him and he believed what he saw. And I began to think about Isaiah because he telling us about a vision that God showed him. But it was nothing new. The vision that he showed him was the same thing that we are doing today. It was the people, which was Judah and Israel, that was called by his name. And God was showing him that they were doing everything that we're doing. We're going to church. They was not forgetting the Passover. They wasn't forgetting what they were supposed to do. They was doing all of this. But the problem was, God wasn't looking on the outside. God was looking on the inside. In other words, God was saying, oh yeah, it looked like you're doing everything that you're supposed to. You're going to church. You're on the first, you're going to church on the Passover. You're going to prayer. You're doing all these things. But your inside isn't right. And he was telling Isaiah, he was saying, they're doing all these things on the outside that look correct. But if you take a look at what God does, when he had Moses' mom to pitch the little boat, she pitched it from in to out. When Noah made the ark, he pitched it from in to out. When Moses was doing the tabernacle, he did it from in to out. And when God is looking at you, he's looking from in to out. So everything that God look at as far as he's concerned with you, it's what's inside. Because you can do stuff on the outside that is not on the inside. And he was telling Isaiah, he was saying, it's amazing. They look like they're doing everything right. They act like they're doing everything right. But their insides isn't right. And this is what we are going through today. We act in church. We play in church. We act in prayer. We pray in prayer. But we're not praying. I put it up there. I put it up there. I didn't bite it. I put it there. Come on. I put it there. We act like it. We act like it. We act like it. But we're not. We're not. And the thing that is missing is I've been here for over 30 plus years. And I was sitting right here praying. And God began to show me things. And the things he showed me was that you're going through the motions, but you're not sincere. Now, I'm not here to beat on you. Don't get me wrong. I'm not here to beat on you. But what I'm here to try to tell you, you need to wake up. You need to wake up. Because we're going into some bad times whether you realize it or not. It was Isaiah's job to tell Israel, to tell Judah and Israel, listen, don't forget that God is present with you. Don't forget that God have not forsaken you. God have not left you alone. God is here with you. But on the other hand, Israel, don't forget that your enemy, the Assyrians, is also here with you. The Assyrians is also all around you. And the only thing that is keeping them off of you is my presence. The only thing that is keeping you, exactly say, liberated is my presence. But if I remove my presence, then your enemy can attack. And this is what Isaiah was preaching to Judah. He was preaching this to Israel. He was telling them, God showed me, and this is what I seen. So wake up, Israel. God is still here with you. God is still present. He still hear you when you call his name. But when you call his name, mean it. When you kneel down to pray and not just to occupy time. When you kneel down to get my presence and not just to say you kneel down. When you kneel down because I'm going to help you if you need me to help you. But don't kneel down just for people to say they kneel down. At 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning, that parking lot was packed. Oh, correct me if I'm wrong. And at 9:30, this place was rocking. Because everybody that was going to be here was here. If anybody came in after 9:30, it was a visitor. But all the members was here, trying to get a hold of God, trying to pull down the presence of God. So if anybody walked in that door, it was not a saint of Calvary Apostolic. It was a visitor coming to see. Why? Because all the members was here. They was here. Oh, I remember this. I may have some witness. I remember this. It was here during the week services. If anybody came in after 7:15, it was visitors. It was visitors. Members didn't come in after that time. You know why? They was already here. They was already here on their knees calling out to God. They wasn't walking in at 7:16 or 7:20. They was here. So anyone that walked in that building, they was visitors. It wasn't members, it was visitors. On a Sunday morning, it was visitors came in this door after 9. It was Isaiah was trying to tell Israel, you have got to relax. You are not praying, you're going through the motions. You're not seeking God, you're just hoping that God show up. And this is what he's trying to tell them. He said, but understand something, Israel. Understand something, Judah. God is still here. And I'm warning you that if you don't change, Assyria can rule this place. I said, I'm not being hard. I'm not being hard on you. I'm soft. But I said in this morning, and what I seen, I have to say. Because the prophet did not speak it if they didn't see it. So you need to understand what I saw, I'm speaking. None of us is in heaven yet. We all trying to get there. And we all want to get there. So you don't want me to lie to you and tell you that you're already there. Because you have not got there yet. But we still trying to fight the good fight to get there. But if you don't get on your knees and fight it the right way, we won't get there. Get that right with Blanca with us tonight. God bless y'all. Amen. But hear me. We can talk about Isaiah's vision in chapter 1. But the main theme of his vision to Judah and Jerusalem was wake up. Wake up. God is here now, but the Messiah is coming. But if you don't think God is here now, you'll never know who the Messiah is when he comes. And my brothers and sisters, they did not know. They did not know who he was when he came. He said, I walked and dwelt among my people, and they knew me not. You know why they didn't know him? Because they was looking for him, but they wasn't looking for him. And it's the same way with me and you tonight. We know he's coming back, but we could be sitting there looking for him, and he'd be already came and left. We are in the same position they was, except he was coming in for the first time. And he came the first time, and they did not know he was coming. Now we are looking for him to come the second time. And if we are like Israel, we'll miss him the second time. Oh, but that won't be a third time. I'm going to say that would not be a third time. But when he come back the second time, he's coming back to clean up this place. He's coming back to choose those that has been waiting for him faithfully, that has been praying, that has been seeking his face, that has been doing what they need to do, that has been present in God's house, that doing what God wanted them to do. You see, this is the thing. And this is all that Isaiah was trying to tell Israel during that time. Listen. I just told you the first verse. Second verse. Hear, O heavens, and give ears, O earth, for the Lord hath spoken. I have nourished and brought up children, and they have rebelled against me. The people wouldn't listen to him. So know what he said? He said, heaven, you're my witness. Earth, you're my witness. Remember Moses did it? Y'all remember Moses did the same thing? Moses said, Israel, you won't listen to me. He said, but heaven, you're my witness. Earth, you're my witness. And Isaiah said the same thing that Moses said, because Israel did not want to hear what he was saying. It's amazing you don't want to hear what people have to say. It's amazing that when they don't want to hear what you want to say, you have to have some witnesses, right? So what are the best witnesses that have in heaven and earth that God made? He said, they are my witnesses. He said, why? He said, because the children that I have raised up, nourished, I raised, means that he raised them up, fed them. And what did he say? They rebelled against me. They rebelled, not because of anything that I did, but because of what they wasn't doing. And when you don't pray, you're going to rebel. Woo! So what? When you don't pray, you are going to rebel. What else left for you to do? What else can you do but rebel if you don't pray? If you don't listen, what are you going to do? You're going to rebel. Oh, come on, y'all know I'm telling you the truth. Bow your heads or smile and say something. But you know I'm telling you the truth. If you don't do what the book said to do, then what are you doing? Rebelling. Because that's what you're saying. I don't believe you. You say, boy, if you don't get up and go do that, I'm going to smack you. And you sit there and look at me and smile. What is he telling me? He's telling me, I don't believe you. So by sitting there, what is he doing? Rebelling. And when God said in his word to do something, and you don't do it, then what are you doing? Oh boy, we going somewhere tonight, aren't we? And this is the whole thing. He said, now Israel, he said, I ain't got nobody else that I can call to witness against you, because you all are doing the same thing. So because I got nobody else that can be a witness that I told you, I'm going to call heaven and I'm going to call earth to be my witnesses. And that's what Moses did when he told Israel. He said, today, hear my words. But the one thing that Moses said in the very end, this is what Moses said, but they're not going to do it. After telling them all their blessings and all their cursings, and if they really want to be, if I tell you what to do tomorrow to be blessed, aren't you going to do it? Well, wouldn't you do it? No, if I tell you tomorrow, go do this and this and this, and you're going to be blessed, but you decide you're not going to do it. Moses told them, if you want to be blessed, keep the Lord's commandments. Now that sounds so simple, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Keep his commandments. That sounds so simple. Keep his commandments, 3 things. And then Moses said in the end, but you're not going to do it. Why? Because you're not going to pray. And when you stop praying, you stop believing in God. Say what? When you stop praying, you stop believing in God. That's just like saying, when you stop taking care of your wife, you're not married. You said for better or for worse. The moment you stop taking care of her, what are you telling her? In the world, this is what they would say. In the world, they'll say, he found somebody else, or she found somebody else. Then why can't God say they found somebody else? Why can't God say she found somebody else? Why? Because they're spending more time with somebody than they are with me. Let's just take it from the spirit and put it in the natural. If you're spending more time with the things of the world than you are with him, then who are you loving the most? I can't make it no plainer than that. And Isaiah telling Israel, God brought you up from nowhere. And when he brought you up from nowhere, this is how you're going to repay him. Listen, God brought you out of darkness. God took you out the miry clay. God brought you out of sin. God set you on the rock of salvation. God cleansed you of all your sins. And this is how you're going to repay him? Are you going to repay him by rebelling against him? Are you going to repay him by not doing what he say to do? And this is all Isaiah is trying. This is in the vision what God showed him. A vision is simply a revelation. A revelation of what they're doing and what they're not doing. What they're not doing is worshiping me. And then God said in the next verse, an ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master. Rib. But Israel do not know, my people do not consider. In other words, he compares you to animals. He said an ox know who feeds him. An ox know who takes care of him. An ox knows who dresses him. An ox knows everything that he needs. An ox knows that he have a master that is going to do these things for him. So that ox is not worried. He just got to work. All he have to do is when the master says, get him up, he just get up. When the master says, whoa, he just stop. When the master pull it to the right, he just goes to the right. When the master pull it, he just goes to the left. And when the master pulls right back on the range, he stops. And then the master pulls again and he bags up. See, here's the deal. If he's going and you pull once, that means to stop. But when you pull again, that means it go backwards. An ox got more sense than we do. If a horse is walking and you pull that bridle, what does he do? Stop. Now when you pull it back again, what does he do? Bag up. And God said, he said, an ox knows his owner, and an ass knows his master. But my people don't even consider me. They don't even consider me. This is the first chapter. Isaiah is trying to get their attention. He's trying to get them to understand. God have not compared you to animals, and the two dumbest ones that it is. And he said, they got more sense than you do. When we get in the tight, we go everywhere but to God. When things ain't going right, we call everybody but God. When things are falling apart, we call everybody but God. When we want relief and I got $5, we don't come put it off in plate. We go to the crack house. Oh, you preaching now, Pastor? Why? Because you want something to put in your body that is going to make you feel good. But I got news for you. You got to come down someday. And the moment you come down, guess what? That problem is still there. It haven't been gotten rid of. It's still there. Medicine kills the pain, but it doesn't heal the pain. That's all right. God heals it. But if your faith ain't right, let the medicine kill it. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Look who brought you here. Look who took care of you all those years. When a baby is born, everybody's so happy. When that baby gets to be about 6 or 7, everybody's saying, why did you come here? You know, because when that little baby's small, it just is cute, and you just play with it, and you just throw it up in the air, and you just catch it, and you just poop all over the place. But when that little kid gets to be about 6 or 7, and you tell it something, and it don't obey you, I don't know where you come from. You know what I'm saying? When you first got saved, your faith was so powerful, nobody could tell you nothing that God couldn't do because you didn't believe it. If they tell you that God could do this, God could raise the dead, you know they're praying for dead people. When they told you God could heal the sick, you know they're slapping your hand on people's heads. You didn't even think about it because you was brand new and you believed that you could walk on water. Thank God we ain't got no water around here. But you just believed you could do all of these things. When you first come to God, I mean, you're a witness to everybody. You tell them everything that God did. But as you get older in God, and you begin to think for yourself, and God said, go heal this person. Oh, well, you know, God, they might not like me. You know, God. But when you was first saved, it didn't matter who it was. That little baby, they didn't care who was holding it. If they had to go to the bathroom, they didn't care if it was mom or dad or somebody else. They just went to the bathroom. Thank God they had a diaper on. But you know what? You follow what I'm saying? But as you get older, you get picky. Because you get a lot wiser and a lot smarter. And it's dangerous when we start getting that way with God. Because you start getting that way with God, you're saying, God, you take the back seat and I'm going to drive. And instead of being at 9 o'clock, you show up at 9:45. Because you tell yourself, well, I don't need all that I used to need. I'm okay now. And Israel thought they was okay. They thought they was okay. And God chose just out of all of the prophets in the Old Testament, they'll tell you Isaiah was probably the top one. Isaiah was the very top of the prophets in the Old Testament. Because only he could handle the job at that moment. Hosea couldn't have handled that job. Jeremiah couldn't have took care of that job. Ezekiel couldn't have done that. It took Isaiah to do that. Just like jobs and that everybody can't do. It takes you to do that job. But you can't do that job because you're not right. And if you're not right, then you can't do the job that God has for you to do. Simply because you're not praying. It all go back to prayer. If you don't eat, you'll die. I'm saying, if you don't eat, you will die. Water, you can live a lot longer. Drinking water and not eating food. You can live a long time off just water. But food, some of you can't even fast one day. Just think about how it's going running 1 day. I'm not talking about a Daniel fast. I'm talking about just flat out fasting. That means you eat nothing. Some of you wake up in the morning and say, well, the pastor don't know. What he don't know won't hurt him. Y'all know what I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about, don't you? You can think about those flapjacks, those waffles. Y'all get thinking about Starbucks on the way. Y'all get thinking about all that, and y'all forget about everything that the pastor said that night. You just forget about it. Why? Why is that? Simply because, now here's the catch, and this was Israel's fault. You become your own man and woman. That's what it is. You become your own man and your own woman. Nobody can tell you nothing. Not even God. Because no matter what God says, you can't get by your knowledge. And we can make excuses for everything. The reason why I'm eating this waffle this morning is because the pastor just don't realize I got this sickness. You know what I'm saying? Anybody ever made an excuse to do something? You make an excuse to do something. And Israel, God is trying to get their attention. He said, a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupt. They have forsaken the Lord. They have provoked the Holy One of Israel to anger. They are gone away backwards. Look what it said. It said that it's a sinful nation, a people laden with iniquity, a seed of evildoers, children that are corrupted. They have forsaken the Lord. They are provoking the Holy One into anger. And they are going, my brothers and sisters, you can only go two ways in God, forward or backwards. You can't stand still. Examine yourself. 2 seconds. Examine yourself. Are you closer to God when you first saved, or are you further from God? Because if you're closer, you're doing everything that Bible says. Well, glory. Because you ain't standing still. Are you praying more, or are you praying less? It says prayer is mentioned 650 times in the Bible. There are approximately 450 recorded answers to prayer in the Bible. First was in the book of Genesis. Jesus prayed 25 times, record him going to prayer. I thought about this. I thought about this today. Jesus sat right next to Judas Iscariot for 3 years. He was human just like me and you. Now, if we know that he was going to betray us, we would have choked him a long time ago, wouldn't we? Wouldn't we? But he was with him for 3 years. He walked with Judas Iscariot, looked at him, eyeball to eyeball, looked at him. Yet, something in him did not let him go off. Now, me and you, we would have read his rights a long time ago. And I asked myself, what was it that kept him from being disrespectful? Because he knew that Judas Iscariot had a purpose. And the only way that purpose could be fulfilled is if he was prayed up. If he wasn't prayed up, he would have been just like me and you. And the God, he said, Father, not my will, but your will be done. He said, but if it be your will, take this cup from me. He said, but if you're not going to take it, help me to live with it. Help me to live with knowing that I'm going to have to die on Calvary Hill. But he wasn't disrespectful to Judas Iscariot. He didn't treat no different than he did Peter and John and James. The only way he could do that was he had to pray. The only way that he could do that was he had to pray. The only way that he could do that was he had to pray. I'm going to say it again. The only way that he could do that was he had to pray. If he didn't pray, humanity would have took over. When you're prayed up, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you're prayed up, what people do don't bother you. But when you're not prayed up, you are ready to go to Knuckle City in a heartbeat. But when you're prayed up like you're supposed to be, none of this stuff even bother you because you're up above it. But when you don't pray, the least little thing bothers you. Why? That's a sign. Pray. That's a sign. Pray. You know? He said because they're not going forward, they're going backwards. Look at you. You're just like Israel was. If you're going forward, then God has got it in control. But if you're going backwards, why did you leave him at? Because God is not going to go backwards with you. So he is not going to go backwards with you. Wherever you start going backwards at, you got to go back to that point and say, God, forgive me. And God will begin to lead you from that point. A sinful nation. But why is God's mercy? Why should ye be looking anymore? Ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick, and the whole heart is faint. He said, life is already bad for you. Why you want to make it worse? He said, everything in your life is already going bad. If it's already going bad, he said, why make it worse? Why not just stop and turn around and go back to God that it could get better? Man, if I'm walking in the fire and I realize it's getting hotter and hotter, I'm going to stop. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn around and see if I can find any place that is cooler. If you're just going through headaches after headaches after headaches in your walk with God, stop. Stop. And ask God, what am I doing? He said, why should you be working? Why do you want to suffer more? You know, they had boxing years ago. And boxing, you put, they started, they had little bitty clubs on. First, it was just hand wrapped up, and then they went to the boxing club. Y'all know what I'm talking about? And because they realized that, putting on boxing club, you're not going to really hurt nobody that much when y'all is actually fighting the right way. Now they got this UF, whatever they call this stuff. And I mean, you kick people and you bite people, all kinds. Am I right or wrong? They may not bite, but well, a boxer bit one time, but that's beside the point. He bit somebody one time. That's besides the point. But what I'm saying, what they don't do, they kick them and they F-bomb and they kick them, all kinds of stuff, don't they? Really? Really? And you want to make a living like that? I mean, this is what I reverted to. All you're doing is somebody go in the alley and fight in the alley somewhere, because that's pretty much what it is. But God he said, ye will revolt more and more. The more you revolt, the more you become more sicker and more sicker by the day. This was Isaiah was telling Israel. This is just the first chapter, my brothers and sisters. And this is what he was telling Israel. This is what he was telling them. People, and he was talking to religion. You act religious, but you don't have God. Do you believe this? Oh, this is the last one I put up there. What's just that one? Verse 6. And this is the one I'm going to end with. He said, from the sole of the foot, even into the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and purified soul. Y'all know what purified soul? Y'all know what that is? Purified souls. When you got soul and just ooze and all this stuff ooze out, you can smell it before you get to them. Purified. Horrible smell. They have not been closed. In other words, he's saying, you're that way, and you have not come to me for help, and you have not closed them up. Neither have you bound them up. Neither mortified. You haven't even put no ointment on them. You're just a wide open, nasty smelling soul. That's what he's telling Israel. Y'all can you can wipe it down, you can shut me off, or you can do whatever you want. But I'm telling you what Isaiah was telling Israel. You are nothing but a big soul that smells. Because you won't put no ointment on you, and you won't let God fill you with the Holy Ghost and do what he needs to do. Wow, it's silent in there, huh? Y'all sure y'all want me to pick up the rest of the book and finish it, or just stop there? I can stop there in chapter 1, you know. We don't have to go no further. But hey, this is the book. This is the book. Write it down. Study it for yourself. Research it for yourself. Research it. Go to the commentary. Go to Google. Go anywhere you want to go. Research it. You'll do me a favor. But research it. This is what it says. What? From the sole of the foot, even unto the head, there is no soundness in it, but wounds and bruises and purified souls. They have not been closed up. They're still wide open. You ain't even tried to put a bandage on them. They just open. Wow, I know that's a bad way to end this lesson, isn't it? What to the next? We got verse number 7. At least read that, so let me close it on something good. We got verse 7. That should be a good verse. What does it say? Start reading. Verse 7, read it loud. Wow, I should have said it was number 6. In other words, he's saying everything that you got, strangers are going to come take it. And ain't nothing that you can do about it. If you don't pray, time is going to take the rest of your time, so you can't pray. People are going to take the rest of your time that you can't pray. People are going to interfere with you that you can't pray. People are going to come around and you can't come to church. People are going to be all involved and you can't do this. So everything you got is going to lay to waste. Simply because you will not acknowledge God and keep his commandments. And this is what Isaiah was telling them. But there is a little hope in the next verse. He said, but God did keep a little remnant of them. He did keep a little. He didn't keep all of them, but he kept a little. He didn't keep all of them, but he kept a little. He kept a few that was right. He kept a few that wanted to do right. He kept a few that had their mind made up. They were going to live for God. He kept a few that said, I'm going to pray like I'm supposed to pray. He kept a few that said, I'm going to obey God like I'm supposed to. He kept a few. He didn't wipe out all of them, but he kept a few. Let's all stand. I'm so sorry.